that military school stuff.
All right, guys, just like we start off all of our lessons, I am going to put you all on mute. When it is time to answer, you guys will have the power to unmute yourself. All right, guys, so our lesson today is on unit conversions. This is a continuation of the lesson that you got with Miss York on Tuesday. All right, guys, for your do now today, we're going to actually connect back to powers of 10. If you don't remember, we learned powers of 10, literally the first thing we did when you guys joined 5th grade. This was one of our first lessons. So I thought it would be really cool if we ended with our last lesson with the same thing we started our first lesson with. So your do now is powers of 10, and you have 3 problems: 10 times 100,000, 10 to the second or 10 squared, and then 10,000 times 10,000. What I want you to do is take a minute, answer each question, and then type your answer in the chat after you've solved all 3 problems. Are there any questions so far? No? Good.
We do it privately.
Go ahead and solve. Do me a favor, everyone. Don't answer each of these questions separately in the chat. Put them all together. What's the answer to number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then put that in the chat. Give you about 1 more minute. Good, Elliot, I've got all 3 of your answers. Great job. Ariella, great job. Vidi, good job. Willie, thank you. Wait for a few more answers to come through. Good, Audrina. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and display the answers for this question. If you didn't get them all solved right away, that's okay. Write down the correct answer, and then I want you to go back and see what it is that you were doing wrong or what you may have missed. So our answers here are 1 million, 100, and 100 million. So a good way to remember powers of 10 is to remember that you're going to be adding on the zeros you're multiplying by. So here we have 1 0, and here we have 5. So when I combine these answers, I'm going to get an answer that has 6 zeros in it, which gives me 1 million. Over here, 10 to the second expands to 10 times 10. Meaning I use the number 10 2 times, and this equals 100. The last one, you're going to use the same strategy as before. You count your zeros. I see 4 here, and I see 4 here, meaning my final answer will have 8 zeros, 100 million. All right, guys, great job on that. I'm going to clear my annotations, and we'll move forward. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to cover is metric conversions. you got to do this on Tuesday with Miss York, and she showed you the King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So we are not going to watch this entire video. I just wanted to refresh your memory. He is going to do a few sample problems, and then we'll do 2 together. Hang on one second.
Hello, welcome to Moo Moo Math, where we upload a new math video every day, and metric conversion. How do I convert in the metric system? The metric system is set up nicely so you can convert by moving the decimal to the left or the right. You can use the following expression to help you remember the units in the metric system. Use King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. The king stands for kilo, Henry is hecto, died is deca. The bi is the base unit, either meter, liter, or gram. The deci is drinking, chocolate is centi, and milk is milli. The base unit will vary according to what you measure. The meter will measure length, the liter volume, and gram mass. Let's look at a couple problems to see how we can convert within the metric system. Go ahead and work some examples. This first example, I'd like to go 24.56 millimeters equals how many meters, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write down King Henry died by base unit drinking chocolate milk, okay? And the K is for kilo. This is hecto, deca, meter, liter, oops, or gram. That's horrible handwriting. And then this is deci, centi, or milli. Okay? So I'm going to put a check at where I began, which is milli, and an X where I'm going to, which is meters, which is right here. Draw an arrow to tell me which direction we go.
All right, guys, I'm pausing it right here for a second. I'm going to unmute you because we're going to have some quick conversation. Manage participants. All right, guys, so here he has written out the KHD, B, DC, and he gave you the names for them. But I want to assign some numbers here. So our base unit is always going to start with 1. Somebody tell me, what is deca?
Deca is like
10.
10. Good. Do you remember in class we used to do our geometric prefixes?
No, because I wasn't in the class.
Yeah, so if you think back on that, deca was our last number and that equaled 10. What does hecto equal?
100.
100. And what about kilo?
You could take the pillow.
Somebody kilo?
1,000.
1,000. Thank you. Now let's go the other way on our chart. I need deci, centi, and milli. Someone give me my number. Willie, I just happened to see your picture first. What is deci? Willie, can you hear me? Say it again. Oh, I see people putting it in the chat. Okay.
Divided by 10.
Good. So 10, 100, 1,000. When we move this way on our chart, we are actually going to be dividing. So we're going to put a 1 above each of these numbers, okay? Remember that fraction bar represents division, so we may be using it in this problem. Let's see. All right, I'm muting you guys back again. Remember, you do have the ability to unmute if you have a question.
Go in, and then I count how many places I need to move. So I need to go 1, 2, 3. So I need to move 3 places to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, add a 0. So it becomes 0.02456. So the answer is 0.02456 meters. Okay? Now, let's work another example. And let's go ahead and work one more. We have 0.0065 kilometers equals how many centimeters? Okay. So we go King Henry died baked milk. Okay, we start at kilometers, which is here. We are moving to centimeters here. We move it in to the right. So I will go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. So the decimal is here. So it's 0.065. So I move it 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 1 0. Now the decimal is here. Now this is a strange looking number because we have 0.065 with the decimal there. So what you can do is just ignore these 2 zeros. So that's really 650 centimeters.
All right, guys.
Excuse me.
We're going to move on to some practice. So we're going to go ahead and solve. So what part of a meter is a centimeter? I'm going to go ahead and unmute you so we can have conversation. Please be listening for your name because I may call on you to answer. What part of a meter is 1 centimeter? Well, for this problem, we need to go ahead and use our King Hector chart. So King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. We're going to circle around our unit because our unit is where we are starting. So what unit are we starting with? Read the problem. What unit are we starting with here?
Meter.
Meter. We're starting with meter. How many meters?
1.
1. Good. So let's put a 1 underneath our unit because this is where we are starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want to go from meter to centimeter. Which letter represents my centimeter?
C.
C.
C. Good.
C.
So how many place values am I going to need to move to get from meter to centimeter?
1.
2. Let's count them. We're going to go 1, 2, right?
Yeah.
Good. So I have a quick question for you, jog your memory. We always put at the end of a number and it still be the same number.
A 1. No, a decimal.
A decimal. Good. So let's put our decimal here. And then once again, how many place values are we moving it?
2.
2. So let's count. 1, 2.
2.
What do I use as placeholders here?
0.
0. Good. So my number turned from 1 into
100.
100 what?
100 meters. Centimeters.
Centimeters. Good. You don't want to forget those units. Now the next part of this question is saying record your answer and fill in the bubbles on the grid. What place value am I placing the number 1 in?
The hundreds.
The hundreds. Good. What about the 0? The tens and the
1.
good. And then you just go ahead and shade it in. Was number 1 on page 144. So if you have not done it, please go back and do it. I will allow about 10 more seconds for you to copy down if you haven't got it all done yet. All right, guys, I'm going to clear and move on. All right, our next problem says Yvette needed 500 centimeters of ribbon. How many millimeters of ribbon did she need? Once again, I want you to go ahead and write out your King Hector doesn't usually drink chocolate milk chart and put a circle around your unit. That's going to always help us remember that those are where our meters, liters, and grams are. All right, guys, here, what unit am I starting with? Someone share out with me. What unit am I starting with here?
Meters.
What am I starting with?
Meters.
Centimeters, right? Good. I'm starting with centimeters, so I'm up here on my chart. How many centimeters?
500.
I have 500. Good. It tells me right here in the problem. 500 centimeters that I am beginning with. Once again, what can I put after any number and keep it still the same number?
Decimal.
Decimal. Good. And how many place values do I need to move to get from centi to milli?
1.
1. So instead of 500, my number is actually
5,000.
5,000. If you see your answer choice, go ahead and select it. You have about 10 more seconds to finish copying this problem. Please don't write on my screen during lessons. All right, I'm going to clear my drawings and we're going to move on. Great job so far, guys. Now we're going to watch another short video, but this one we're not going to watch all of it. Miss York showed you conversions with volume on Tuesday. You guys got to look at Gallon Man. So I'm just going to reintroduce Gallon Man to you, and then we'll go over a problem together. I'm going to mute you all. Remember, you can unmute at any point.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to cover how to convert customary units of capacity. So fluid ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. And along the left-hand side of your screen, we have 7 practice conversions that we're going to go through together in order to get this down. Now up top in blue, we have some notes that we're going to reference in order to do these conversions. Now over in the blank area on the right side of your screen, I'm going to take those notes up top and create another way of putting the notes that I think is more helpful, but you can decide and use it if you'd like. So again, these notes up top, or I'm going to draw something else that may be helpful to you. So we're going to start, and I would suggest you draw this out with me. If you find it helpful, then great, you can use it with your conversions. So we're going to draw a big G. And that G represents 1 gallon. So 1 gallon here. Next, we're going to draw 4 Qs. That represents 4 quarts equaling 1 gallon. So 4 Qs to fill that gallon. Yours is probably going to be neater than mine. So next, in each quart, we need 2 pints. So 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 8 pints fills 1 gallon, or equals 1 gallon. Next, we need 2 cups in each pint. So we're going to put C's in each pint. So a cup, if you can think back to your kitchen, and a measuring cup, one cup, and how many of those it would take to fill a gallon. So think of a gallon of milk. We would need 16 cups to fill a gallon. Now lastly, we have 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. Now that's just going to get too small to put 8 fluid ounces in each of those C's. So we are going to leave that one out of this here. So let's go into some.
I'm gonna pause it for a second here. And when I had small group on Wednesday, or it might have been Tuesday, we discussed a way that we could fit that 8 ounces in there. So I'm gonna show it to you all. Each cup here represents 8 ounces. I like to take my pen or pencil, whatever you're using, and I turn those 2 C's into an 8. Now it doesn't look that good because I'm working with a marker right here, but you could turn these 2 C's into the number 8, and that'll help you remember that there's 8 ounces inside each of these cups, okay?
Versions. And again, some people prefer to look at notes like the notes up top, and some people prefer to look at the G and then what fills that gallon. So as we go through, you can use both or use whatever you prefer. So number 1, 2 gallons equals how many pints? So the first thing we need to do, how many pints in 1 gallon? So if we take a look, we have 8 pints in 1 gallon. So that means there's 16 pints in 2 gallons. So 2 times 8. Number 2, 6.
All right, guys, we are gonna stop that video there, and we're gonna go on to solve our own problem. Now, once again, if you have page 144 in front of you, it would be very beneficial because this is number 3. All right, I'm gonna unmute you all so we can have some good conversation.
I guess.
All right, does anyone wanna be a risk taker and read this problem for me?
Sylvester made 104 ounces of hot chocolate. How many cups of hot chocolate did Sylvester make?
Good. So let's start this problem off. What unit conversion am I making? What? Sorry, I'm gonna mute you guys back. Unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. What conversion am I making here? What unit am I turning into what unit?
What do you mean?
Ounces to cups.
Ounces to cups. Thank you.
You got it?
All right. So the conversion that I need is ounces to cup. Which one is the larger unit? Ounces or cups?
Cup.
Cups are bigger, right? So when we're going from a small unit to a big unit, are we going to need more of them or less of them? Less of them. And if we're making the numbers smaller, what process are we using?
Division.
Division. Good job, guys. Okay, so I want to go ahead and solve this one a little differently. Next, back to your Eureka lessons, and I want to go through our whole process for unit conversions. So our first step is to set up our conversion. They gave me the number 104 ounces. I cannot change that, but I can convert them into cups. Does anyone know our first step? I'll give you a hint. We used to abbreviate it with the letter PP in class. Think of unit conversions. We had 3 steps. The first step was PP.
Oh, rewrite.
Rewrite, and then the second step. There we go. So let's rewrite. when we rewrite our problem, we create that partial product. Everyone say that with me, partial product.
Partial product.
Good. Let's not forget, we got to always keep that in the back of our mind. When we set up our partial product, remember this is an equal sign, right? And an equal sign tells me that whatever's to the left side must be equal to whatever's on the right side. So you'll notice that we multiplied by 1 ounce because that'll keep our number the same on the other side. All right, our next step is to go ahead and do what?
Partial product?
Partial
Well, we
product.
already did the partial product. We did the partial product right here. So I already have that set up. What can I now?
Multiply.
I can't multiply yet because I still have ounces.
Convert.
Convert. What am I converting this to again?
Cups.
Cups. How many ounces are in 1 cup?
8.
8 ounces are in 1 cup, right?
Yeah.
So looking at my problem, I need 8 ounces, but how many ounces do I have?
1.
1. So I'm going to say that again. I need 8 ounces to make 1 cup, but I only have 1. So my unit conversion is actually going to be
1/8.
1/8. Good. 104 divided by 1/8. Now I just explained it to you, but now I want someone to explain it back to me. Why is this 1/8?
Because you only have 1. Because we need ounces. Because we need 8 and then we only have 1.
Good. All right. So I want you guys to take 1 minute. I want you to go ahead and solve for me 104 over 1 times 1 over 8. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then I want you to put your answer in the chat, okay?
I can't get down until
Time starts now.
Kelly, shut up.
Good. I see some answers coming in. VD, yes, that is correct. Good, Braylon. Ian, great job. All right, so I see enough coming in that I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Elliot, are you gallon, girl? Good job, that's correct. Willie, I don't know what you just typed. Audrina, great job. Ariella, good. All right, so our answer here is 13 cups. Great job, guys. All right, so I'm going to unmute you. This will be your time for questions. Does anyone have any questions about what we covered today?
No.
No? All right. Your next slide is your announcements, like always. Here are my annotations. All right, guys, so for announcements this week, today is your last day of small group lessons, okay? So today is the last day. You'll join on Tuesday and Thursday. You can still come to office hours tomorrow, but today is the last small group lesson. Monday, the 18th, page 144 is due. That's what we just worked on today. You have 4 problems on that page. We just did those problems together. There should be no excuses why you guys aren't able to send that to me, especially if you're on here doing the lesson. The last announcement is go back